So he finishes up this thought with that these things are not according to Christ. Christ is the fulfillment of the law. Therefore, to mandate observing anything from the law which is fulfilled, instead of honoring Christ who did the fulfilling, is empty deceit. Somebody sent me an email. I don't want to get too deep into this, but somebody sent me an email and he met some people and he talked to them about Jesus. They were believers and they're in a Messianic synagogue. And he sent me the link to their site today. And I haven't had time to follow through with this, but I immediately went to the site. And one of the things that they believe is that the fall feasts are not yet fulfilled. Okay, and that's too bad, and I don't want to be high-handed and send them an email and tell them how wrong they are. Okay, I didn't want to do that, so I got to think this through. But they are wrong, because if the fall feasts are not fulfilled, then what?
Jesus didn't
fulfill the law. That's exactly right. They think that and why is that? Because they've been taught all their lives that the fall feasts are yet to be fulfilled. The spring feast happened at his first advent. The fall feast will happen at his second advent. That is not correct. They are all fulfilled in Christ. If you don't get that, go back and watch the Leviticus 23 sermons and you'll say, oh my gosh, they're all fulfilled in Christ. If they're not fulfilled, if we are waiting for a future fulfillment of those fall feasts, then Christ is not our atoning sacrifice, then we are not living in our tabernacle that Christ has given to us, awaiting, our final glorification. And what's the third one? Oh, Christ wasn't born, because that's one of the fall feasts too, the birth of Jesus Christ. So there you go with that. He has fulfilled all of them. All right, and I would like to be able to tell them this without being, like accusing and finger pointing. So I'll think it through and I'll figure out what to do. But it was very nice that he talked to them and that they had a good conversation. Anyway, therefore, to mandate observing anything like the fall feast from the law which is fulfilled, instead of honoring Christ who did the fulfilling, is empty deceit. All right. Further, there are other Jewish philosophies, such as Kabbalism, which are mere traditions and which are not even in accord with the law. And beyond that are countless other worldly philosophical systems which are merely idle ramblings of man. Okay, one of them is the Tom Cruise, Scientology. Okay, Scientology. I mentioned this guy last year. It's time to bring him up again. L. Ron Hubbard. He was the most published author in history. No person has written more than he has. And he said, I'm tired of writing for a penny a word. Okay, he said the real money is in religion. And so he started a religion. You talk about vain philosophy and the deceit of man. And people, they believe this stuff. Their entire lives are stolen away because of that nonsense. Okay? Beyond that, including him and lots of others, are other worldly philosophical systems which are merely idle ramblings of man, which are intended to do what? To draw the believer in Christ away from what is sound. Only when a philosophy is according to Christ can it be a reasonable and worthwhile philosophy. Okay, the first sermon I did on Genesis 1:1 was almost all philosophical in nature, but yet it was a logical philosophy. Okay, God is. Well, that's philosophical, but it's obvious. It's a logical conclusion. All right, A is. A is A. A is not B. And on you go down the line. And you can logically deduce things. God is the author of logic. He does nothing that is illogical, and anything that is illogical is not of God.